What is up, YouTube knife community? Back again. Today, guys, we're going to talk about a couple Microtechs. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to a really awesome guy. Great member of our beautiful community. And love this guy. Our working relationship or whatever, we haven't been talking long, maybe just a couple months. But this guy, man, is so freaking amazing, and that is JD Shadow from Shadowborn Hanks. So we're doing a little trade out. I'm going to modify a wrap for him, so he hooked me up with some gear, and this right here is what we got. This is I don't know if he ever named it or not, but I'm calling it the mini slip because it's about 2/3 the size of the larger slip. I can't remember the name of it now either. I'm sorry, but it's made out of that Cordura. It's very well made. The stitches will hold up for a long time, and this thing has a pocket on the front, a pocket on the back, and it's got a pocket in the center right there. And like I said, that's the mini slips is what I've been calling them, and this one is red and black. Course, my two favorite colors when you're talking EDC stuff. And there's the Hank. That's not it. Let's check out the other side. Bam. Check that out. Hilltop Knives and Gear. Man, that right there totally blew me away when I unpackaged this and saw that. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to have that on it and everything. But still, when I seen it, it like totally blew my mind. Just awesome work. Couldn't be more happier with everything I've got from JD, and just with JD as a person in general, man, just a top-notch guy. I asked him the other night when we was talking on the phone, I said, man, what in the hell took us so long to start talking and shooting the crap, because I'd heard people talking about JD for months and months, and just never approached him. And finally I did, and I couldn't be any happier. Just an awesome guy. If you haven't checked him out, stop this video and go check him out. Awesome guy. All right, let's get into some knives. Let me clear this table. So what we have is a brand new Microtech Socom Elite signature series in bronze, and the LUDT that Jody sent me, or JB sent me. So this video is mainly a first impressions video on this beauty right here. This is the Socom Elite, and you can see the bronze finish on the blade. It's bronzed and then it's stone washed. This is gorgeous blade. Freaking amazing. Love it. This knife is so well put together. It's insane. Love it. And the action on this knife is incredible. It gives you I don't know, it almost feels like an auto, just the way they open. I've always heard guys talk about how different the action is on these from any other knife. And now I see why. They're just phenomenal. When you load up, everything about this knife is so well thought out. Just the way you load up with that groove cut right there, and you put your thumb right there. Just as soon as you break that detent, that knife flies out like just so stupid fast. It looks like an auto when it fires, and it kind of feels like an auto when it fires. The LUDT is an awesome knife in its own right. Absolutely love it. Have enjoyed having it. Have enjoyed carrying it. Again, the finish on this one is that apocalyptic finish. Microtech does a jam-up job with blade finishes. It just looks gorgeous. I mentioned in my first impressions on this one about the proprietary hardware, how you'd have to have a tool to take it apart, or you'd have to send it in or whatnot. I'm probably not the biggest fan of that, but other than that, that's the only thing I can find to bitch about with this knife. Just ergos or jam up on this thing. the way they crown the spine and that jimping, it's just probably the best jimping I've ever had on a knife. Just in my opinion, just the way it feels. I don't like super aggressive jimping, so this one is right down my alley. And this thing fires so hard. I can't tell you how many times it about flew out of my hand. Not literally, but it feels like it very easily could fly out of your hand if you wasn't careful with it. But I absolutely love that knife. And JB, it's been a pleasure to have that around, and I appreciate it. Back to the Socom. This knife was sent to me by Acuminous Edge on Instagram. If you guys don't know who he is, you really should know who he is, because you're an idiot if you don't. Or not an idiot, you've just been under a rock somewhere or something. So go check him out. If you ever thought for a second you'd be interested in a Microtech knife, go check him out, because he is posting Microtech knives every day of the week. And he has an ungodly, amazing collection. I don't know how many Socoms he's got. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to say it. But every one of them is gorgeous. He's getting into customizing them, sending them off and having them customized, different inlays and different blade finishes and stuff. But every one I've seen him post has been a gorgeous knife. While we're talking about this, I'm not going to do a disassembly on this. If you want to watch a disassembly video, Nero Knives put out a good one at one point. I hear you got to be careful with screw placement, because there are different sizes. There's 3 different size screws. There's 3 larger ones, 2 medium sized ones, and a smaller one, I think is what it is. So if you want to check out disassembly on this knife, go watch Nero. He does a good one. I'm not going to take it apart. The pivot on this knife is ridiculously huge and robust. And I know you've probably seen it 1,000 times, but the way the stop pins and the blade hug up inside that handle, man, this knife is so rock solid. When you got this in your hand, you know you could do whatever the hell you want to do with this knife. I mean, it's tough. This happens to be a spear point blade. Absolutely love it. As you see, they've kind of got like a false edge right there on the top of the tip for piercing, and I bet it would do a jam up job at piercing. But I've always been attracted to the spear point blade for some reason, and I do love the Tonto as well. So I'd say eventually I'll have a Tonto as well. But this knife is just absolutely amazing. Acuminous Edge is an amazing person. Like I said, if you don't follow him, go follow him. He's a killer guy. And if you're wondering the difference between the signature and the full-on production knives, I think the only difference is the blade finish. And you get this, I want to call it crow's foot. I think it's a talon's foot. But so you get that with, and not all the writing on the blade. And you get a signature on the clip. I don't know which way it goes. Like this. There's the signature. There's the serial number. And all that good stuff. But I was very impressed with the hardware on this knife right out of the gate. The hardware looks absolutely amazing on it. But yeah, it's a gorgeous knife. Very gorgeous. And another thing that I found by watching Nero's disassembly video, as I stutter, sorry guys, but these pieces right here, the standoffs are not standoffs. These scales are one solid piece. These have been milled out and then drilled and tapped. Actually not tapped. They've been drilled and steel inserts put in for the screws to catch into. But I think they thought of everything on this knife. And, as I was looking at these, I always wondered what this big hump was for. And, if you think about it for a minute, you can sort of figure it out on your own. But it's got this big, thick liner lock, which is almost as thick as some frame locks. And then they've got a pocket milled out in there for this tab. If I can get focus. See if I can get some light through here. I don't have a flashlight, but that pocket is milled out, and that lock bar is screwed in right there. So it can't be forced back this way or side to side, either one, because it's sitting in that pocket there. So, like, they seriously have thought of everything with this knife. Like I said, this is just my first impressions on this. I absolutely fell in love with this knife. It's so fidget friendly. I mean, dude, if you got this knife in your pocket or in your hand, you're going to be flipping it because it's amazing. Just the action is stupid on it. So, yeah, absolutely love this knife. Mark, thank you so much for sending it, man. I can't thank you enough. There will be more videos on it. It is a user. It's not going to be a safe queen. He knows that. I know that. I don't have any safe queens, so we'll learn a little more about the steel and all that good stuff. I don't know how in depth I'll go with it, but we'll definitely do some testing and some everyday use stuff with it. There won't be no prying or no tip test or none of that crap going on, but we'll test it out a little bit, see how the steel performs. Guys, that's all I've got. Again, JB, thanks for the LUT, LUDT, whatever you want to call it. And Cumulus Edge, brother, thank you so much for the Socom. It was one of my dream knives, and there it is, and I appreciate you, brother. But for this one, guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Leave me a comment, get a conversation going, and I'll see you guys on the next one.